Videos like this are made possible by our patrons and our YouTube members. Check the description of this video for more information, and we appreciate your support. In this video, I want to share a little bit more of myself with you. I'm going to share with you my memory of my very first Prince concert and only Prince concert that I got to attend. Hey everybody, welcome back to Prince's Friend, exploring music through Prince. It's kind of weird being the student of Prince that I am and being here on this channel, and I have all of you in the comments, and in the comments you guys are like, well, you know, I saw Prince 11 times, 30 times, I saw him every time I could and all that stuff. And it's always weird to me because I literally answer, I'm like, I only saw him the one time. Now I've seen footage constantly, I've seen his concerts, but I only saw him live one time. And I thought it would be fun if I went ahead and shared that story with you to kind of give you all of kind of the ins and outs of like how it was and like all the craziness. So if you enjoy stuff like that, don't forget to hit like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification, check out our Patreon, or become a YouTube member. There you go, really fast. So the year was 1997. And it's pretty easy to remember because I graduated from high school in 1997, and my graduation present, since I had been listening to Prince since 1990, so at that time only 7 years, not too long, but a long time. Emancipation had just come out, all of these things, like I was having a ball listening to Prince, and then my mom, as my graduation present, said, I bought us Prince tickets. They're on the floor. They're not like front row center or anything, but they're on the floor. We're gonna have an amazing time, and that's gonna be your graduation present. I was like, ah! Like I freaking freaked out, and it was so fun that I was able to kind of do that. And of course my mom always knew like how into Prince I was, so it was probably the best present that she could have given me. So it wasn't the day of my graduation. You know, I went to dinner with, you know, other family and friends and stuff like that, but it was like the following Saturday. And I remember we drove there and we parked and we found our seats, and we were behind some really tall people, and we were just, they were like, hey, it's cool, like we're gonna sit for most of the time. And I was like, no, you're not gonna sit for most of the time. I was like, you are not gonna sit. If you sit, I'm gonna be mad at you. But honestly, it was pretty cool because our row wasn't that full. We were able to kind of shift, you know, back and forth, and we were able to find like a couple of good seats that weren't behind a super tall person. So it was fine. And it's hard really to kind of remember, you know, everything about the concert. I'm not gonna go like track for track, but it definitely left like a lasting impression on me. A few things that I really love coming out of that concert. The first thing was, it doesn't matter how many times you see Prince on TV or you see a video or listen to his music, his live performance is the best, and there's no getting around it. And I had seen maybe a handful of bands live before seeing Prince, and honestly, he blew them out of the water, and he's blown every other band I've seen since out of the water. In the nicest of ways, like, you know, the bands I've seen don't suck, but if you compare them to Prince, they're not great, because Prince is the only one. But it was so fun. We were on our feet the whole time. We were dancing our butts off. One of the big things that I remember from the show was how in tune Prince was with the audience and how he really put on a great show in terms of lighting. And this was like bonkers to me, and I still have no clue how they did this. It must be maybe he had like a white kind of reflective suit or something on. But he came out and he had like this really cool like blue suit on, like a button-up suit, like with a collar and stuff. And he was like, you know, dancing around. He did some of the songs and stuff. And he goes, you know what, y'all? I think we need to get a little sexy. And he raised his hand and he snapped his fingers, and his suit was red. And I was like, how the hell did that just happen? And I was like, is it a light? Because I started looking around. I was like, I need to know how this happened. So I'm like looking around, I'm like, is it a red light? I'm like, no, it's like the same light, but it looked like it might have had like a slightly red tinge to it. I don't even know how they did that trick to this day. If anybody knows, let me know. But it was here in Tampa, so if you went to the Ice Palace and you saw him and you were at that show, I know at least one other person in comments has told me a couple of times that they were at the same concert I was at, so let me know. Like, that was a monumental moment for me. One of the other really kind of like key moments of the concert was, and of course, again, I wasn't up front, somebody else was up front, and you heard Prince, like he's in the middle of like, oh God, what song was it? Maybe Insatiable? I'm trying to remember. It was a slower song. And there was apparently a woman up in the front who exposed herself to him and like, you know, flashed him. And it was so funny because Prince is on stage and he's doing his thing and he like, just in the middle of the song, he goes, he says, hey baby, you can put those away. Nobody wants any of those. And like the whole stadium just erupted into laughter. I mean, it was amazing. So that was bonkers. And that's how Prince handled that sort of thing at a show, is that he would make you feel dumb for having done it, apparently. But of course, the crowd that I was in wasn't really interested in following Prince's instructions, because when he got to Sexy MF, he sang the song, and again, like, go watch my video, which is songs that are not about sex. Go watch that video, because Sexy MF is on one of those, because it's all about, like, we need to connect on a higher level before we would ever have sex. I mean, you're really hot, and I would love to have sex with you, but I can't until, you know, we're there. But it was crazy, because Prince at this time was starting kind of his transition into not really cursing. So he's at the concert and he decides to put Sexy MF on the set list. And he's up there and he's singing it. And when he gets to the chorus, he goes, "You sexy mother," and he does this to the crowd. Oh man, the crowd does not listen to Prince. They immediately go, "Motherfucker!" Every time. Like, it wasn't like, okay, like, I get it. Maybe the first couple of times, maybe you're not watching him. Maybe you missed the fact that he's like, don't say that word, because he did it every time the F part of it would come up. And I myself, as like, you know, a good concert goer, you know, you're supposed to follow kind of the cues of the person on stage. I didn't say it anymore, which was fine because I was hanging out with my mom and I don't like to curse that much around my mom anyway. Not that I can't, but it's not, you know, it makes me feel weird to curse around my mom. But it was so funny that they were like, "Sexy motherfucker, I don't care what you say, Prince." And of course, he removed that from his set list going forward from there. I'm pretty sure. I never saw him perform that song again, at least not that part. But it was a very funny moment. That, looking back, is super funny. I remember being very annoyed at the time. The other big takeaway that I got from the concert, and I'll leave it on this, but on the New Power Generation album called New Power Soul, there's a song called Freaks on This Side that I love. I feel like I have a connection to that song because Freaks on This Side is something that Prince had going during the Jam of the Year tour, which was in 1997. That's the tour that I saw, the Jam of the Year tour. Because there was a certain part of the concert where he was getting the crowd hyped and everything, and he would have this side of the stadium go, "Freaks on this side, the freaks on this side." And he would have this side go, "No, the freaks on this side, the freaks on this side." And then, of course, being in the middle on the floor, we got to say, "Freaky people in the middle, freaky people in the middle." And it's just like one of those things that, like, I was there when he was recording those sound bites and when, like, that energy was there. And so when that song came on, I remember looking at the CD and I'm like, "Freaks on This Side, hey, that's like that thing that he had us all say at the concert." And then I put it on and I'm like, he actually used the recording of the crowd saying "Freaks on This Side," which I thought was really, really cool. He didn't do it for Freaky People in the Middle. I like Freaky People in the Middle myself because that's where I was, but I just love that kind of the callback to that tour. And that's one of the reasons why I like that song and that album so much, is it felt like it was like Prince just showing love and everything. I'm a fan of the New Power Soul album. But it's really great that we can kind of all share these stories and talk about our love of Prince. And I'm hoping that you kind of enjoyed like these little snippets of my memory. I mean, the show itself was just stellar from beginning to end. He hit all the right notes. He did many of the songs that I loved. I was really big into Emancipation at that time, and I felt like he probably could have done more songs off of Emancipation during the Jam of the Year tour. He definitely did a lot of them, but like I was like, what about this one and what about that one? But you know, he makes his own set list, but it was an amazing show. It was one of my fondest memories, and it was one that like I thank my mom for getting me those tickets. The best thing about it is this year at Celebration, I'm bringing my mom with me to Celebration this year. That's the plan right now, just in case anything happens, but that is the plan. So it's gonna be great because my mom was the one who introduced me to Prince's music. She was the one that bought me my first Prince album. She was the one that took me to my only Prince concert. Like, my mom has been such a huge part of my love of Prince that I can't wait to take her to Celebration and kind of share that with her and, you know, all of you, honestly. But in the comments, let me know what you think of my story, and like, if you were there during that tour, did he do anything different at your show that you were at? But also let me know, what is your best memory of a Prince concert? And you don't have to tell me about the whole thing, but tell me like one of your best memories at a Prince concert. I want to read those down in the comments. And if you like this video, don't forget to hit like, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification. Check us out on social media. That's at Prince's Friend YT. That's on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/princessfriend, or hit the join button below this video to become a YouTube member. And go check out princessfriend.com. That's our website. We have a bunch of fun information up there. Go check that out. Otherwise, may you live to see the dawn. Love you all. So happy to share this memory with you.